Kia ora, good evening. A significant milestone has been reached at Invercargill Stadium Southland, with the outer building being completely sealed for the first time in over 3 years. The final glazing is being installed on the west wall of the rebuilt stadium that collapsed in September 2010 due to heavy snowfall, problems with remedial works during construction defects and design problems. Dozens of workmen remain on site daily, putting the finishing touches on the project, which carries an estimated build cost of over $40 million. The rebuilt stadium is set to open in 2 weeks' time, with a Christmas variety show scheduled as the first event. There was strong growth in residential building activity in the September quarter, especially in the Canterbury region. There was a seasonally adjusted 9% growth in residential building activity. Canterbury grew by 20% or $73 million, while the increase across the rest of the country was 6.2% or $89 million. Also in the Canterbury region this quarter, the value on non-residential building activity was 22% or $59 million higher, following a 14% fall in the June quarter. Statistics New Zealand reports although the volume trend for building activity continued to grow in the September quarter, the rate of growth appears to be slowing. Dipton School today received its Silver Enviro Schools Award in the shadow of Castle Rock. Hunter Andrews found out more from Environment Southland Education Officer Mark Oster and Dipton schoolteacher Hilary Spedding.
Schools that are a part of the Enviro Schools program go through 3 stages, a bronze, a silver and a green gold. Dipton School was at a bronze stage and they have now achieved their silver stage on that.
And so what does silver mean to the school?
With each one of those stages there's like a paragraph that explains the level of their commitment to sustainable learning and practices. And so it starts with a sort of quite an introductory level at bronze, and at this level the kids are having to do a lot more of the planning themselves. There's a lot more sort of requirements in them to meet higher targets with some of the work that they're doing and the education and the thinking that they're doing.
What sort of things have they been doing?
Sort of things that they've been doing here is, here at Castle Rock, they've had some programs going on where they've been doing pest control, they've been doing a lot of planting, native planting here, and water studies. And
Sorry, planting control.
and music. Planting, and back in their school as well, they also have come up with like a whole school vision for what they want their school to be like, feel like, look like. So they've done things like reducing their glad wrap in school lunches. They've got veggie gardens, they've planted native trees, they have planted beginnings of a fruit forest for fruit trees. They now have chickens there which they're collecting their eggs, and so with each one of these little projects the kids have different responsibilities.
The children have been doing some studies in the stream to find out about the water quality. And it just knocks on from there really, because now we've discovered we need a bridge here. So that will be another project that we can get involved in. And also the little ones, the 5-year-olds have come up and found the insects that live up here, found out a bit about the native plants that are here that they didn't know about.
It's a massive outdoor classroom.
Oh, it's huge, massive. I mean, we're up here as a celebration today, but we could easily come up here and do art projects and all sorts of things. So.
And the Enviro Awards themselves, that's a great initiative, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And it's in to sort of lead our learning and direct us into making a difference in our environment.
There's no lack of enthusiasm, is it? I was just saying to Mark that, you know, the kids look right into it. There's no one sort of looking to get away or anything like that.
No, the Enviro group, this year we've got 8 children and they've been completely inspired themselves, and I've just been there taking a big back seat this year from the direction. And they are the leaders, they're the ones that led it in the school, so yeah, they've taken it over, and I've just stood back and been there as a guide if they needed it.
You sound very proud.
I am very proud of them, because they've just been a really good group of kids.
Well done, Dipton School. After the break, an extended interview with Clutha Southland MP Bill English on his decision not to stand in the seat next election. Welcome back. Last month, Clutha Southland MP Bill English announced that he would not be standing again for the seat, instead opting for a place on the National Party list. Hunter Andrews asked him about his decision to step down and some of the more memorable moments as a constituent MP.
I really enjoy the electorate work, enjoy the people, enjoy coming here, it's home. But I just got to the situation where the demands of being in government meant that I didn't want to let anyone down. So between my responsibilities as Finance Minister, my responsibilities as a father and a husband, and the electorate, I thought, well, I get reorganised while I'm still ahead before I get too stretched.
Your critics have said maybe you left it too long to just put yourself on the list.
Oh no, well, I don't really mind what critics might or might not say. I got elected with a good majority in the last election. I'm quite confident I could again in the next election because I enjoy the work, and I think for people here, even though I'm not always able to be here as often as they might like, they see someone from the south playing a role in government at the national level, and that helps.
And of course having adequate staffing does too. You've got several offices around the region. Will they be retained?
Well, I have got offices in Gore, Balclutha and Queenstown, but I've got very experienced staff. And actually some of them are a bit more effective than me as the local MP. So they've been a great face to the electorate when I'm not able to be here. Now the arrangements for the future will depend on who gets selected as the national candidate, and then of course they have to get elected in an election, and then they get the right to make the choices.
Do you have any ideas who that'll be at this stage? Because I've been hearing people saying, well, you could put a blue ribbon around a sheep and they would win this seat.
Well, I don't think any sheep are going to be standing, but we welcome anyone who can stand. I mean,
it's like Christchurch East, though, isn't it, for Labour?
Well, look, it's always been a safe national seat, but it's wide open to someone who wants to put their hand up to try and to be the national candidate. There's no inside track. There's no head office deciding who it's going to be. It's a very democratic process. So people who want to influence it can do so just simply by paying $10 or $20 and joining the National Party.
And what interest will you have in that process?
I'll keep well clear of it. I think probably the worst thing that could happen for a candidate is to have the incumbent MP endorse them. I think the volunteers here, in my experience, guard with some jealousy their right to pick their candidate, and I certainly respect that. That's how I got chosen, and it's how the next person will get chosen.
Let's do a bit of time travelling now. It's 1990, fresh-faced Bill English, Bolger government. What are your thoughts of winning the constituency seat that night for that first time?
Well, it was a real thrill, no doubt about that. I also knew, though, that it would be a big challenge because I had a young family, just one child then, but another one on the way. Or another one actually had just been born before the election. And Derek Angus, who was the previous MP, had been such a fantastic local MP. And if people cast their minds back, things were pretty tough here in 1990. We'd had the big restructurings in the late 80s. I can remember large meetings, a meeting of 600 people with Roger Douglas in the Lumsden Town Hall, I think in 1989. So there was an awful lot going on, and it was, I have to say, a baptism of fire, both locally because things were pretty tough and a lot of people needed help, and also nationally because the incoming government made a lot of very difficult changes, some of which were unexpected.
So the end of that rural bank and the supplementary minimum payments in the 80s and that sort of thing had certainly left their mark in your electorate, hadn't they?
It certainly had, but what's been impressive has been the resilience of the electorate. So times were tough, right through the 90s really. These towns like Gore and Winton actually shrunk a bit. Southland shrunk, but that didn't quell their spirit completely. And of course we've had big improvement in the productivity of the sheep and beef industry here, and then the dairy industry coming in making a very big impact. People have adapted to it and they're doing pretty well now, and I have to say it's just good to see people enjoying the benefits of all their hard work.
Have there been a few quirky or unexpected constituent problems over the years?
Well, look, it's amazing just what walks in the door. And sometimes there's people with incredible quiet courage dealing with very complex lives. And other times it is people who are worried about whether man actually walked on the moon. There was a phase there where we had a lot of concern about the Jewish takeover of the World Bank and the World Bank taking over the New Zealand government. And I got good at serious discussions laying out just why that wasn't the case. But look, if you're in politics, one of the privileges of it is you get to meet all sorts of people, and you'd be surprised at the variety of views, but also the real humanity and courage so many people have.
You mentioned the drive of government and that sort of thing. For cabinet ministers, do you think that the days of constituent MPs as cabinet ministers are gone?
No, I don't. Look, I've made a decision in my situation where I've been in Parliament for 23 years. But in that 23 years, I've had about 11 years as a minister and been able to deal with the balance. I think it's really important that you have plenty of politicians who might one day be talking about matters of policy with Australian experts or professors of the Auckland University or something, and the next day parked in their office in their constituency dealing with the nitty-gritty of real life.
Things like Jewish takeover of the World Bank.
Well, and also just a lot of the things government doesn't do well. There's people out in our community who should get more support and don't because public services aren't that good. Politicians making decisions without understanding how they affect businesses and the staff in them. So that combination is one of the things I've really enjoyed about politics.
That's all from South Today News for this week. Sports up next. We'll leave you now with the week that was.